Okay, so here's my total take for 2017. It's more or less a one complete medium box full of wide frames, and then maybe not even a half box here. Most of this stuff in Brood Box or in Honey Super number 2 is not capped, so it may not be usable. I may have to just give it back to the bees to have for themselves. But one thing that happened to me is that I didn't have an extra box like this ready when I was taking the frames out from the hive, so I put the frames in a bag, and it squished a lot of the comb and leaked a lot of honey out. So you just really need to be prepared so that stuff like that doesn't happen. So here's the spinner I'm going to use, the extractor. See, it's pretty simple. It's a 2-frame extractor. It'll use the deeps and the mediums and the shallows, of course. And I'm just going to put the frames in. I'm going to do a little weighing first because the empty frames like this come in at 0.6 of a pound. And I'm going to be really interested to see what these frames weigh in, because as I've been saying all along, I've made them extra wide. They've drawn out extra wide. You see how wide this one is? See how much wider than the actual, you can just see it dripping like crazy now. So I'm just going to try and hold it right over the extractor here so that I don't make more of a mess than I know I'm already going to make today. I'm just going to weigh this bad boy, because I think it could weigh upwards of 9 to 10 pounds. Let's see what it comes in at. Come on. Okay. No, 6.5. So there you see it. So, you know, it may mean that with all the wax that there's maybe 5 or so pounds of honey here, and I should have a good 8 frames usable, if not more. So I think I'm looking at about a 50-pound harvest this year, which for me is not bad at all for one hive in particular. So one hive struggled, one hive did okay but didn't make any honey, and one hive, this hive, has just done fabulously. So let's see how much this one weighs. I can do it without dropping it. Yeah, 6.9, 7.3, 7.5 pounds. So if they're coming in at that weight, there's a good chance I'll extract 50 pounds of honey. So just going to put it on pause for a sec to get my roller ready and start to get ready for the actual spinning process. Okay, so here's what I do. The reason why I tried the extra wide frames is because I'm not using a heated knife to open the cells. All I'm doing is rolling with this roller, you see? This roller just punctures the cells, and it causes minimal damage, and you don't have to be exact, right? What I've seen novices use that hot knife, and it's hard to do a good job with that because you have to either cut right along the frame, or sometimes the comb is not drawn out all the way beyond the frame, and then it's very hard to cut it. So this is easy. There's absolutely no skill involved, which is why I'm doing it. You just roll it a couple of times so you see that every cell is popped, and then you put it in the extractor. Just easy peasy. Also, when you're done this method, as you can see here when you zoom in, there's minimal damage to the actual cells themselves. It's really easy for the bees to just pull off those cappings that you see there, and that frame will be usable again in just a second. So okay, from there into the spinner, and then we start spinning. We'll see what we get. So now we spin these bad boys, and if you just look at the side of the extractor, you can see the honey flying out against the side and then working its way down to the bottom of the extractor. and it'll just sit there until you're done all your frames, and then you just empty the extractor, put some filter in, and that's it. This is pure 100% wildflower honey from Central Ontario, more like Toronto. The only bad thing about this spinner is it's the cheap one. It's the cheapest one probably that you can get, but it's good enough for me. You have to spin one side of the frames, stop it, spin the other side of the frames, because centrifugal force only works on one side of those frames the way they're positioned. But again, for a beginner beekeeper, it's worked for me.